impressed of the previous sessions with your IPoY presentation. It was very nice and very good. Now we are going to look at how it will continue with the project work for next year, year 2. And that is the IPoY, the integrated project of the year in sustainable energy, which is also mentioned as the MG 2504 with 6 credits. The agenda for this short presentation is we're starting now with IPoY kickoff for year 1, and then we continue. Perhaps we should have a break between, stretch our legs or something. But afterwards, for 15 to 18, we will have the final presentation of the IPoY for year 2. And it's meant to be 15 minutes presentation and 10 minutes discussion, and also perhaps 5 minutes for technical reasons for shifting the presentations and so on. And please, if there are any questions, just ask them right away so we can sort it out directly. There are 3 steps that is needed to be done in order to start up the IPoY. And the first is to find a challenge. Then it's build a team. And then finally write a proposal. And the proposal will then be presented at this fall seminar upcoming in October. And as you know, you have the last sessions or models you had in ISADE was managing high performance teams, and that is a thought about behind it. And this is because you know how to use your knowledge and learnings you had from these sessions from ISADE to build a team. So this is connected actually. So how do we find the challenge in sustainable energy? The preferred topics areas are energy efficiency, renewable energy, energy in transport, energy storage, and continuation of PoY. It is a possibility if there are anyone that a team that want to continue some PoY work, it's also possible. If you are not having any ideas of what you would like to do, then it's possible to have guidance and help from the IPoY board. And there is one track you can think of, and that is South African track with projects predefined. We have had a couple of IPoYs earlier years with this collaboration with South Africa, and Louis gets in. Now, form team. We aim for a team set 8 to 9 students, and we will form 4 teams. Students from 3 to 4 partner locations. This should be easier this time because we have students at all partners. So, and it's gonna be spread out in a wider sense this year than earlier. And then when you have formed your teams, you have to nominate the CEO for your team. And the CEO will also be the contact to the IPoY board. The CEO has to report to the IPoY board your final selection of CEO, team, and topic, no later than July 31. So the first step, as we have seen, is that you form the team, you find a CEO, and you find a topic. before July 31 and send it to me. And when you do that, you report the team formation, also submit half a page briefly explaining and motivating your choice of project topic. And this is also for checking out that it follows the guidelines for what has been said before here, and also that we are in line with CDE, challenge-driven education. So when you have formed a team, then you have to write a proposal. And I can show you how this is, then how the communication is going to be. And you see this extra. You see in the communication will be done in boxes in the KT8 box. And as this is, for example, as you see, the IPoY 2019-2020, we have a lot of things inside here. But the projects, you see, we have 4 projects this year, which the name of the CEO is managing this box. And inside this box, you will have other boxes with final that you can upload final report, interim report, peer review, project report, proposal, study visits, application, template, and infos. So the CEO will be provided with all this material, and I will form these boxes and invite the CEOs to participate in the work together in these boxes. So this is just a short explanation of how things will turn out. So then you have to write a proposal, and as I said, there is a template available, and this template is in the EU standard with all the milestones, work packages, deliverables, and so on that you have to define in order to have the proposal completed. And this has to be done before September the 4th and submitted into the box. I will then, after this is done, this submission of the proposal, everything will be, I will show you now. Let me see where it is. It will end up in a PM. This is the last year's PM, and as you see, the project groups and topics are explained in the front page, and also the supervisor for the project. And a lot of other things is explained and stated in this document, and it is the course PM that I provide every year for the actual project that is ongoing and that should be started up.
Excuse me, Thomas, out of curiosity, PM stands for?
Sorry?
What does it stand for, PM, the name of the document?
Post-memorandum.
Okay, thank you.
As you can see here, this is the members of the IPoY board, and this will be increased with one more participant and from Alto. So I will update this in the upcoming PM, and you have also the schedule with all the dates where things should be submitted and so on. You have the explanation of different things during the course and so on. So this is a quite important document, and it will. But this is not possible for me to construct before I have the proposals and the name of the CEOs and so on. Oh, now it disappeared. Oh, I'm back. So, after you have submitted your proposal, I will randomly distribute it, a copy to each of the project teams, so you can make the peer review for the proposal from your mates. And this will be randomly distributed, and after when the presentation take place in spring fall seminar, then afterwards the teams that has the peer review will have questions to ask and so on. So that's the team perform a peer review of the distributed copy. Okay, now we present your proposal on the fall seminar, receive peer review, meet your supervisor at the fall. Now we don't know if it is possible this year, but it has been possible before. So then the supervisors and the teams will meet and discuss further on how things will be organized. We have a new attribute in IPoY, field studies, but I'm not sure how this will end up this year. It has been grown our heads in cost effectiveness and so on. So we will come back to it if there will be restrictions on how the field studies will be conducted this time. And perhaps it will not be possible otherwise, since the current pandemic that is in its. So, but ideally, if you are permitted and it's possible to make these field studies, it's need to be done and planned and organized during the autumn and performed in January, February in the spring semester. So I think that was all. I don't know if perhaps you have a lot of questions, and I hope so, because then we can sort things out. Next is the final presentation of the IPoY for 1920.
Excuse me, I have a question, please.
Yes, of course.
Is there a template we could follow for submitting the project proposal?
Yes, I can show you how it looks like. And as I said, it is actually like in the EU standard. We can look at it looks like this. I don't know if it seems no, it's not. You see, you have this template. It's available, and it should be used as well. And then you have the table of contents with different topics in, and you have project summary. You have to put project objectives.
Can I ask if maybe it's possible to circulate this template before assigning a coordinator of the group, so that we can have an idea of the main parts that we should think of?
Yes, that's a good idea. I can certainly do that. Of course. You see, otherwise we can go through it, potential impact. So, well, there are a lot of things that need to be. For example, this is the. I think I can take the chance to show you one that is already been done. Maybe I can. I don't hope that the result project team mind that I show you the template is so the proposal. This is this is gonna be the first one that present today, the result, and you can see how this is quite extensive work to do to make this template and to make this proposal. You have to identify what you are. This was not really what I wanted to show you. We have another try. Yeah, we can try see if then that one is more like I don't know where. What I wanted to show you is this is the participation list with all the functions and potential impact, and then you come to the really then you have to do the work package list or review work package, define the work packages and so on, and whatever you need to put in here. We have deliverables, we have milestones, we have coordination. So you see, it's quite extensive work to get everything in place actually. So that's why it's good to be in time with this. Right. Any more questions? Should we just go through it once more and just quickly? What is to be done? Kick off for year one, find a challenge, build a team, write a proposal. This is the main things that is needed to be done. Then challenge, predefine topics for the challenges, energy efficiency, renewable energy, energy and transport, energy storage and continuation of IPoY. I will provide you with this presentation as well.
Thomas, excuse me, one last question, if I may do that.
Yeah, of course.
You mentioned we need a supervisor. Any constraint recommendation for the choice of the supervisor?
Mainly the supervisors are one participant in the IPoY board as the academic supervisor. Then you can have supervisor as well in your partners that you are working with.
Ask if we have to bring or no.
Okay.
Excuse me, Thomas, can I give a suggestions to the first year students?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
May I give a suggestion to the first year students? I was listening.
Absolutely.
Okay, so guys, for what the academic supervisor concern, it will be one of the professor between Peter, Cesar, and so on. For the technical supervisor of the project, I suggest you to look for, it would be a good idea for former select students, just because they know what IPoY is, and they would be much more effective in giving you suggestion and also in providing you the project. Of course, this if the project is going to be performed with a partner company instead of on your own.
Okay, thank you, Toto.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Well, I don't know if there are any more questions, or this is quite crystal clear for all of you.
Thomas,
Yep.
I would like to understand better this this track that you mentioned for South Africa. Is that a topic chosen for this?
I think Arthur is better than me to explain this, because if you will choose the South African track, it will probably be in cooperation with Arthur and Louis Yatsin.
Yes, yes. So I think Louis has not joined. Louis, are you here? No. So basically, as Thomas said, we have already, I think, 2 projects together with South African partner, and they were focused on. Someone is making noise. And they were focused on improving living conditions of the poorer people in Africa that are currently living in shacks. Okay, and the idea was how it is possible to design like districts with houses that they can live in pretty comfortable conditions. How to use, first of all, how to build them so they will be thermally well constructed, and also how to switch to cleaner fuels to provide services to households in terms of cooking, hot water. And last project, I think, was went more in deep in architecture and in thermal analysis of buildings and also design of buildings. And it was quite a nice project, because it was, I would say, quite holistic approach. Also touching the social needs, the social impact, how to design such districts, how to make people to be responsible for their houses, how to improve their living conditions as well, how to find also good materials for building the houses. In fact, the climate in South Africa also requires some space heating, and the space heating now is also coming from burning bad quality fuels, coal, but also even some kind of rubbish, and so the air pollution in these areas is quite high. So the idea was to use geopolymers as the material to build the houses. So I think that what could be done in the future is to continue this work, and also look maybe on the energy supply, how to make use of this very rich potential of renewables in South Africa. So I think it's a pity that Louis is not here, but more or less I told you about the scope. And as I said, we have a good connection with in South Africa. Basically, there is the big energy power utility called Eskom, and this Eskom together cooperates with universities in South Africa through R&D Institute, and basically this R&D Institute is supporting the students, and some also South African universities like Cape Town University supporting, or other universities support, give some supervision to the students, and even students manage to have a site visiting trips to South Africa. So also one more thing or last thing is that as far as I know, and maybe Cesar and also others can confirm that this direction of cooperation with South Africa is also appreciated from the side of energy.
Thank you, Arthur, for your explanation. And I just wanted to add one thing, and that is this kind of project that they have down in South Africa is really true CDE projects, because as Arthur mentioned, it's not only the technical part that it is considered, but also the socio-technical and the law and in society in a broader sense. For a couple of years ago, we had a project, for example, we connect the cooperation with ESCOM, where they used the ashes from the coal burning that they have in South Africa, and for building new building materials for houses and so on. So that was a very comprehensive project done for 4 or 5 years ago.
And just a quick question: with whom should we talk to in case we are interested in this South African project?
So, Thomas, if I may, I think you should contact Louis Justin. So Professor Louis Justin, and we will provide this contact to you. Even I can be a connecting point. Okay.
Okay.
So Professor Louis Justin is associated professor in Cape Town University, but he was also the director of this R&D institute that was a joint institute of ESCOM and a consortium of South African universities.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any more questions or wonderings?
No, I was to say something, Thomas, and this is also related to this possibility to have a project with ESCOM and also in general. I think this is important that in your previous slide you mentioned that 3 steps that are necessary to to carry out in the IPoY. I just want to emphasize that defining a challenge is important, but design the challenge is even more important. And we'll be making an effort also to provide some support in order to make that the challenge will be a real challenge. And this is because time to time, when you are negotiating with your partner, it can be an NGO, a startup, and a company. Maybe time to time, just focusing on the needs or requirements of the company. But in some way, the challenge will be need to cover all the sustainable dimensions of any energy system. And this is something that should be taken into account. So I think in this case, we identified that this is something that we need to give more support on that. So in this stage of defining the proposal, we will also check if there's any possibility to, in some way, design the challenge in a way that you get a more interesting approach in terms of this methodology.
Okay, thank you.